So I know we're kind of rolling right into it. I'll ask myself the question because when other people ask me the question, it makes me want to cry. I am not okay. And my week has been terrible. It's been good. There's definitely been some high points. The podcast now has a new partnership, a new sponsor, and this is super exciting. And since then, it's all gone downhill. So, yeah. So aside from all of that, the universe is kicking my ass and speaking to me and telling me things that are difficult to hear. But this weekend, I am, obviously you guys see that my background is a little bit different. I am staying the weekend with my very good friend, mentor, quasi mother figure for the last 20 years, in an RV in the middle of the woods somewhere in like Iowa, Missouri area. And it's pretty great. She's been trying to convince me to be a full-time RVer for the last couple of years because her and her husband have been full-time RVers for like, maybe almost 10 years now. I think I'm off on that timeline for sure, but they've been living full-time in an RV and they downsized from like a 3-story Victorian home. Like it's crazy. But it's actually really lovely. My assumptions of RV life are getting kind of like crushed because for me, like, you know, big booty Judy, big hips, I'm thinking like I'm going to be hitting shit left and right, you know? And this is a decent size RV, but like it's pretty interesting. So this weekend I'm on a little camper vacation with her and we're talking life and career and love and our side hustles. She's my mentor for the photo business as well. So for anybody interested in preserving your family legacy, holla. So we're talking about that stuff.
Also, I have forever storage. It's not just something that Sarah is selling. Like genuinely, I use it and I pay for it.
It's pretty great. But one thing, Erika, that I have to talk about on the show because this is a game changer. So for those of you kind of tuning in recently, or even if today is your first episode, I work for the government, but I also have another job that I travel doing corporate event and management. And I'm one of the staff on the ground. So my company plans the whole event, start to finish, all of the, you know, side quests and dinners and lunches and menus and, you know, all of the breakout stuff, blah, 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 blah. And there's multiple different types of programs out there. So anyway, I'm one of the staff that like travels to the event and I'm staff on the ground. Part of our like job description, I would say, I'm going to put that in quotes because I'm not quite sure on the terminology, but part of our job is to be like prepared, ready, whatever. And some of those things could include like, obviously right now I'm in an RV. I brought podcast stuff with me, but like I'm using a cardboard box and a laptop stand and something else underneath it to make sure that my laptop's up. You know, like you have to like improvise in certain situations and certain locations and certain buildings and certain offices. So one thing that we take a lot of pride in, and Erika, you're going to love this, are office supplies, obviously. And I love that I have the mirror right here behind me. I want you to see this. I'm going to take off my headphones for 1 second. Hold on. That right there, my friend, is reusable, removable, dry erase board paper. And it sticks to anything.
Grippy, not sticky.
Grippy, not sticky. This is a mirror, right? Now, attach it to wood. I knew. I know. I didn't mean to make you wet this early on a Saturday, but like here we are. Here we are.
Girl.
She whipped out this my friend, she whipped out like this wooden cylinder, right? And she pulls it out and it looks like poster paper. So I was like, because we're working this weekend, she's going to start a podcast. So I'm helping her with some things. And we're working on marketing and we're working on catching up because we've been friends forever. And like, you know, there's all of these, you know, it's an all encompassing work and pleasure weekend. And she whips out this this cardboard cylinder, and I thought it was poster paper. I thought she was going to look at marketing. I don't know. She brought her smart car is jam-packed with things. And so she brought her whole house, very similar to when I travel, I bring my whole house. And she starts pulling this paper out and pulling it apart. And then she starts cutting it and then attaches it to the wooden door of the bedroom that I'm staying in. And I was like, what are you doing? What is this? And then she whips out some dry erase markers and starts writing on it. And I was like, do explain. So
what kind of sorcery is this?
Correct. So for anyone that is interested, I will be putting the Amazon link in the show notes because I am purchasing immediately.
Same.
And it's so great, especially like the reusable part. And because like the travel job that I have, especially, we're traveling to all these different locations. I'm not bringing a dry erase board with me to try to mount it somewhere. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So I had to plug that into the show. No, we are not being paid. This is not a partnership. This is not a commission-based whatever. I am just really happy for the people out there that enjoy office supplies as much as we do. Because this is gold, people. And she said that once it loses like its static cling or whatever, you can take like a wet washcloth and just like let it kind of air dry, become static cling again. No sticky.
From high school with a guy. And I am so...
You're welcome. You're fucking welcome.
Sarah, I have a new side hustle idea for you. And by that, I mean, it might just be me. I need you to describe office supplies in like a soft, sultry voice.
Listen, when we get our Patreon, I will do that for you, boo-boo. It'll be like an Erika level tier of subscription payment per month. And if you want the Erika package, you also get the office supplies sultry descriptions.
Yes.
Like, this is...
If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. You need to treat me better. If you want to be my man, you have to treat me better than my best friend does.
Oh, man. Oh.
Now, sometimes do I undersell myself? Obviously, all the time.
Yes.
But that's also why I have Sarah, who ruthlessly gives me shit about it. Which, as much as I hate it at the time, I always deserve.
Yeah, we are both quite guilty of that.
Yes.
I mean, you hurt my feelings all the time and on air. Like,
yeah, I'm like, I know your mental health is in the dumps, but I'm going to need you to do some positive affirmation exercises with me.
Listen, I need you to do some work. Yeah, like, why? How dare you, actually?
Oh.
Let's also roll into the intro because this moment right here, which people we can't talk about because, you know, there are some things that we won't talk about on the air, is a perfect segue into today's topic, actually.
Correct.
So,
hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Erika.
And I'm Sarah. This is Living Understaffed podcast, the chaos we can't clock out of, which is factual this week.
It took... We were supposed to start recording at 10. It's now 10:57. Because my computer... My sweet, sweet Bertha Mae is on her last fucking legs and takes so long to restart.
Correct.
She's doing her best.
Girl, I'm telling you, with the sponsorship that we just got and the things that we have going on this year, we're getting laptops by the end of the year. It's happening.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
The series that I have right here, which is my first series and kind of the one that I've become known for, is The Dragon Queen. I like to describe it as the Hunger Games, but if they reach the adults, set in a world like Game of Thrones, but think House of the Dragon era Game of Thrones, so more dragons, but magic level of a world like The Witcher. It's grimdark romantasy, and grimdark is specifically dark and violent fantasy. Mm-hmm. So very like Game of Thrones on that level, which is why if someone is ever asking, about triggers in it, I'm like, okay, the Red Wedding. this is your jam. If you like the Red Wedding or if it changed your life. I'm currently in grad school getting my master's in English literature. And so it's heavily inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. So book 1 and 1.5 are the Inferno, which is the descent into hell. And it's more like a descent into really traumatic evil. Book 2 is like, what do we do from this? How do we heal? So there's a lot of focusing on how women specifically heal from grief and the different ways we react to grief. So for some people, they go really internal and isolate themselves. Some, we're going to laugh about it and just pretend it's all a joke because that's the only way we have to cope.
Yeah.
Some people use that as that fuel and motivation to, you know, grow. And some people use it as fuel for negative things. Really look into that. And that's kind of the evil hell aspect of it. There is both FF spice and MF spice. The later books, there might also be MMF. Just gonna put that out there. The Broken and the Brave, which is 1.5, is a little Song of Achilles inspired. Yeah. Of the yearning that they can't be together, but they want to. Yeah. This might be kind of like on that level of like, you need to process for like 2 weeks before you can even like come up with your thoughts on the series. There's a lot of animal rights themes in it as well as mental health, but everything that happens to the magical creatures in the story is inspired by something that happens to animals in real life. I like to not tell anyone what to think. I just like to present different perspectives to get people to ask more questions about the world around us. So instead of saying, hey, I'm a vegetarian, don't eat meat as well, this is more like, okay, if you care about this happening to a dragon, why don't you care about it happening to a chicken or a cow? So everything that happens to the dragons happens in real life to animals in our world. It's a brain power book, which is why I have all these other side projects that are like my also equally low brain power. It's a slow burn that really does sizzle when it comes.
Also low brain power, like getting your master's degree.
Yeah.
Let's just roll right into it. Let's introduce today's topic because Erika sent me the information a couple days ago, and I listened to part of it last night on my road trip. And then this morning, I was like, oh my God, I can ask this question. So I've got things too.
Yeah. So I've been listening to a lot of Science Quickly, which is a podcast. And this episode is Love in the Brain, How Attached Are We to Attachment Styles is the name of it. I think the host
Heather something.
But it was a really good, like, short. I like Science Quickly because it's like, I think the longest episode they have is like 30 minutes and they go over a topic and it's very like
easy for your ADHD brain.
Yes. Explain it in a way that's not like it's they maintain a lot of the nuance even though they don't have a lot of time, which is something I like.
Yeah.
Turn my thing a little bit. Oh no, it still looks like garbage. Okay, well, that's fine.
We were joking earlier that I wish you guys could have seen the light that she had when she first logged in because it looked like a crime documentary.
Truly.
Like there was just a spotlight that's coming up at like not a great angle. And so I was like, is this a murder episode? What are we doing? Like what?
No, I just have bad lighting.
It was bad.
You're
getting there, buddy. You're getting there. You moved into a new room. I totally
Yeah. And I have dog toys all over my floor because Daisy, I'm pretty sure, is getting ready to go into heat again right before she's supposed to get fixed. So she's been nesting and she has like several toys that are her babies that she's been like taking around the house with her, which is adorable. One of those things is a bag of hot dog buns, which is
it's squishy.
It's very
a little squish.
It's very on brand for Daisy, though.
I love that so much. Oh,
so she takes the blanket that you crocheted for me, and she makes a little nest on my bed, and she puts her hot dog buns in it, and she has this like it looks like a little bug, and she has that toy, and then she has like a milk carton or like a milk jug. Morning Glory Milking Farm style that she puts in the middle of it and snuggles.
For the record, there could be so many more worse things than cuddling a hot dog bun packet. Like there, it could be like dirty underwear or something,
That's
and she
true.
has to have it for nesting. Like, gross. But she's actively choosing hot dog bun packaging, and I love that for her.
Yes.
That's her squish.
Yes.
I feel like you need to write squish
on
the packaging.
Yes.
Please.
She's just the sweetest little bean. She's doing her best. She only has one gummy worm in there.
Please send a picture of that, because I'll put that as a reel on socials, because that would be adorable.
The next time I see it. I was going to say something clever and I totally fucking forgot. The worst part is that I slept last night and I took my medication.
Who are you?
And I'm drinking water right now.
Where's the real Erika, and what have you done with her?
I know. I don't know. Also, I have this newfound level of self-esteem that I just fucking...
I mean, I absolutely love that for you. Hands down.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So today's topic is, I mentioned it earlier, is how attached are we to attachment styles? And I listened to this podcast. It's super short. I think it's like 12 minutes or something. And it sort of briefly goes over attachment styles and how we sort of assume that like those are rigid categories, like you're anxious or you're avoidant or you're disorganized or you're secure or whatever. And they brought up a really good point, like just you as a person, regardless, sort of goes, you're one attachment style for maybe like 4 or 5 years, and then that changes to a different kind based on all kinds of things, like your own like relationships that you've been in or internal work that you've done, or just as time passes, you evolve as a person and it changes. Like,
it's also life events and trauma and transitioning periods, and it encompasses everything.
Yeah.
One thing that I picked up on, and attachment styles has become pretty big on TikTok too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly, guys, I'm really not on TikTok very often because I know that I get sucked in and I have that attachment style to TikTok, and like 4 hours will go by and I'll look at the clock and be like, I've aged 87 years. Like, terrible idea for me. So attachment styles is big on TikTok right now, and so I've seen it a little bit, but what I didn't know is that your attachment style as a kid, because initially attachment styles started off as like a childhood research project of like how kids attach to like the people around them, their surroundings, their environment, their teachers, their mentors versus like the environment that they grew up in, if it's abusive, if it's not, if it's, no conflict resolution, if there's, these different types of like life experiences for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I didn't know is that research over time is now being attached to adults, and you can see like as a child, your attachment style shift completely from one opposite end to the other, or like what Erika is saying, it can rotate throughout your life as far as like your life experiences and different situations that you've been through and different jobs and different environments that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really, it spoke to me. So
yeah. And what I really like resonated with was when they were talking about how different relationships can trigger different attachment styles, because Sarah knows all about this guy. There's this guy that I was seeing for a while that had a absolute chokehold on me. Chokehold. Like, also, being honest, literally and figuratively. But anyway,
we called him Magic Guy because A, the magic and the sparkles and everything was there, but B, he was terrible. Still texts her every now and then, by the way.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But she and I both know this. We actively talk shit about men and like the way that they act. And that's why we call him Magic Guy, because Erika is a strong, independent woman and she does have these things, but like this guy just had some kind of spell on her. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
And it like triggered this like anxious anxious attachment in me where I just was like, it was like thought spiraling and just like because he was so like inconsistent and I didn't like it was just that thing that like I couldn't escape until
Yes.
I finally, after a while, was like, I'm fucking done.
Yep.
And it took a really long time. But that was something that I realized, like, that person triggered in me.
Yeah.
And that's partially him, partially me, the type of
Right.
person that I am, partially like the work that I needed to do and recognizing that about myself.
But also it's also the life experience that you were going through at the time. So this attaches to my first question for you is with attachment styles, you know, like for the situation that you were in, you didn't realize that you were in that type of attachment situationship, right? Like your attachment style shifted in that moment. Did anything resonate with you then that I wouldn't necessarily say like that we are so aware of our attachment style, but did it resonate then that you were different, that you were acting different and that your attachment to this person was different? Or because you've learned and you've shifted and life has gotten a little bit different since then, now you're realizing it? Hindsight.
I'm more realizing it in hindsight. Like I definitely knew it at the time that I really liked him, but I don't think I realized how much I liked him was more of a reaction to him and was more of the circumstances I was in than an actual like connection between the two of us. I don't think I realized that at the time.
Can we just talk about how much of an adult answer that was? Can we talk about?
Who am I?
In my head, I was like, God damn, that was so sophisticated. Jesus.
I mean,
I don't really do that.
I've grown so much.
So much. I can't with you. So, okay. So that's great because I have so many questions. I typed up a whole bunch of stuff. So like for like the childhood story, right? Like our own origin stories. What do you remember about how your emotions were handled in your household growing up?
For sure. It was, I say this all the time. I'm the oldest daughter of emotionally unavailable parents. So for sure, anytime I expressed emotions, I was basically yelled at and told me that I was being needy. So I was like, bet, okay. So part of me is like, I admittedly am a bit of a handful.
Admittedly.
Because you have to, like, I don't open up very easily. And when I do, I have to be kind of mean about it because I don't have to. It's a trauma response.
You just are.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit mean. And then because it's for sure.
Cue Exhibit A, the best friend.
For real.
She's mean to me all the time.
Yes. I make up for it though, because you're my daddy. No. Anyway.
Guys, to put that into perspective, like I will drop tears. Like my face will leak at the Sarah McLachlan TV commercial, you know, my face will leak immediately, hormonal or not, you know, ovulating or not. Erika sits there and not I'm going to say stone faced to be mean, but like she just sits there and she's like, why are you crying? Like, fuck you, actually, you know, like I can't.
Yes.
You know, and it's not that she is incapable of showing emotions. It's just just doesn't do it because of responsiveness over her lifetime. So like this is a great question.
Yes. I'm just not a very like outwardly emotional person. Like I'm not saying I don't have feelings or emotions because I absolutely do. They're just like inside my head. Where they belong. Ooh.
So in that sense, like as a kid, for comfort, who was your go-to person?
Nobody.
Like, Not a single person.
No.
So, rough question. Do you see a correlation between that and your current romantic relationships?
For sure. Because, and I've been asked by this. I've been asked this by multiple therapists that are like, Erika, you seem to be going after a lot of men who are emotionally unavailable. And I'm like,
why are you calling me out like that? Excuse me?
They're like, are you going after something familiar? And I'm like,
that hurt my feelings. And it's your therapist.
I know.
Oh my.
And Sarah knows this. My absolute kryptonite are men who are unavailable in various ways. And then I'm like, oh my God, why don't they pick me? And it's like, bitch, you knew that from the beginning.
I am also similarly going through a lot of that at Fort Leonard Wood because, men don't wear wedding rings.
Yes.
Great. Love that for me. But I'm moving soon, so who cares? Yeah. So sorry, God, I need to stop with the bitter comments. It is bitterness, but it's gonna be a good thing. It's gonna be good.
Sarah,
anyway,
Sarah. You're allowed to be bitter for a couple of days. You're allowed to be mad and bitter and a child and petty and angry for a couple of days before you have to pull yourself back together. That's okay. You're allowed. You're allowed that.
This is one of those situations where she's being mean to me. I start crying. Oh. Moving on. So, in the topic of attachment styles, okay, I think I've seen it in my lifetime, not realizing that the new age term is attachment style, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I know that we've all kind of been through those situations where the attachment style is something that we're realizing is happening. Kind of like with Magic Guy, kind of like with the first married guy, like for me, like there's those attachments, but it's like, I'm still going to go back for more because X, Y, and Z, right? Like we make those excuses for ourselves. We make those excuses to make ourselves feel better, even though we know we're doing the wrong thing for our own mental health and sanity.
Yup.
So my question is, how long do you think it takes, either for you or for me, how long do you think it takes for us to realize that an attachment style is happening and then we try to adjust? It could vary. In my opinion, I think it could vary because like with Magic Guy, it took a long time. With Married Guy, it took for him to be the final douche. Like, remember when he came back with his Special Forces coin and was like, I'm going to miss you. Okay.
Yeah, and you're like...
gross.
Yeah.
Please leave. Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh. Like, it just gives you the ick. And so, there's those things. Like, in that moment, I'm realizing, like, gross. And then so when Married Guy number 2 came along, it was like, okay. I'm glad that I went through that experience, but also I'm sick of going through this over and over again.
Yes.
Can we not?
Yes. I for sure and I think it took a while for me to calibrate my attachment style and my self-awareness around my reactions because I was in a relationship for so long. You know this. You're in a relationship for a really long time and you're used to that and you're used to not the things that you're not getting, you haven't gotten for so long. And then you're out of that relationship and you get those things and you're like, I will do whatever I have to get those things still. Like, what do you want me to be? I will be that for you because I just want this so bad. And then
do you think that that's like a toxic attachment that you're creating?
Yes, obviously. I mean, I would say it takes a certain type of person who likes that. I think
masochism is a real thing.
Yeah. Ugh. But you, if you're going to at least for me, in my experience, I needed to recognize that about myself and intentionally recognize when I'm falling into that pattern, because ultimately, we say it all the time, like, you are responsible for your own reactions. Like, that person might be being shitty to you, but like, if you keep going back over and over and over again, like, yes, that person shouldn't be shitty. At the end of the day, that person is the person who's being shitty to you. They are the worst person in this situation. But if you want to prevent it from happening again, like, you have to have that self-awareness and be like recognizing those patterns about yourself and being like, wow, Sarah, we don't need to talk about me. This is a hypothetical conversation that we don't need to go into my dating habits. This is not about me. This is about people in
It's
general.
not about either of us that talks
No.
about ourselves on a constant basis on a weekly podcast. You're right.
No.
This is for the masses.
Correct. Because first of all, we are pinnacles of mental health. You're welcome. God.
We are the subject matter experts in living our best lives.
Correct. And we never, ever, ever pick men that are bad for us. It's never happened.
Not at all. Ever.
Nope.
Not once.
I absolutely currently am not entertaining any men like that at all. Fuck you.
Okay. I'm gonna back this up with a question though. What healthy habits have you created knowing this about both of us? Like, there are some of those toxic traits that we're just sort of like drawn to, and it's sort of like this magnetic field. I know that in my attachment, like, no, I wouldn't say style, but I would say like my attachment patterns, I would say, over the years is much more of like an anxiety driven type of thing, because I think that I'm a person that like has a lot to give, and I love people, and I love loving the people that are in my space. And so my anxiety attachment is something that I am quite aware of, because I feel like I'm going to overwhelm, whether it's a friend or a situation, you know, like I feel like I'm going to overwhelm them because I have a lot to give, and I know that I am a lot. And it's like, okay, if you think I'm a lot, imagine what it's like being inside here every day. Like, you have no idea. So I like, I know that that's more of like my attachment style, but what do you think are like healthy habits that you found either for yourself or you think for me in attachment styles that we can continue to utilize moving forward?
I think it's like it's twofold, and you definitely have more practice with this than I have, just because you've been single a little bit longer.
Oh, I was like, are you okay? All right.
Yeah,
she's hurting my feelings really hard today. Got it.
No. I'm saying you're better at it than I am. Having boundaries outside of like what are things that I want that are boundaries for me, regardless of who you're talking to or who's in your life. Like, having those separate, and then when you go into those relationships, maintaining those boundaries. Sarah is way better at this than I am. Truly. Sometimes. But and I have done that a little bit. I have identified those boundaries.
That's still a positive. It's
yes.
Still a positive.
But the thing that I think I'm much better at now that I was when like Nolan and I first split up, is that I'm much better at recognizing, wow, like, I'm getting really anxious. Like, what is it about this dynamic that is making me really anxious? Instead of just like not thinking about it and being like, oh, it's just like, you know, and being able to communicate that, like, hey, like, you or noticing, like someone said in his 20s, noticing he and I don't talk constantly all the time. We don't, and that's okay. Like, we do talk a lot. We do talk a lot. But I have talked a lot with other people and not been that secure in my relationship. And we don't, and again, like, we haven't even really talked about like the dynamic that we have. We just
You just are.
We just are. And I am okay with that. And I think
And
it's
it's
because
lovely. It's consistent. It's lovely. You have the physical attachment there, but there is also the friendship attachment.
Yes.
That, like, you know, if you call and you're like, hey, I just want to walk around Walmart for a bit. Want to go? And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, you don't find that in a lot of relationships. Well, I mean, you do, you can, it is possible, but like, that's where friendships are. You know, like if Erika and I lived anywhere close to each other and she's like, hey, you want to walk around Costco with me for an hour? Like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. And it's that, and I am realizing how important to me that, like, physical presence is to me in a relationship. Like,
quality time is a big love language for me.
Yeah. And I have plenty of friendships that I can rely on for people. So I'm not saying like, oh, I've never had anyone. Like, I have plenty of people that I can call and be like, I need you, and they will be there. Like, I have my friend in Charlotte. I have Sarah. I have my roommate Selena. I have a lot of people that I can call, but they are all women. So if I'm in a relationship with a man, I want to be able to call him and be like, I need you for this. Right? Like, if you're my person, I want to be able to call you, and I'm not expecting you to drop everything. Like, I truly don't. Like, if I call someone, like someone's in his 20s, if I call him and I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing tonight? If he's like, oh, like, I have plans, it's like, okay, that's totally fine. Or like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, oh, I'm going out of town. Cool, bet. But then like the next week, I'll be like, he'll be like, oh, but like, you know, do you want to go see a movie tonight or whatever, you know? So it's like, when he doesn't plan his whole life around me, which is fine because I'm not planning my whole life around him either. But when he does have time, he thinks about me and he makes time for me.
Right.
And
then it's funny on the like on the flip side of that conversation where it's like, you know, anybody that I'm out there looking for that, like, my life is super crazy. My life is super crazy. But I also need my person to have some kind of hobby, some kind of something outside of the house. And it doesn't even have to be outside of the house. If it's, you know, remodeling, or they like tinkering, or they have, you know, a hobby in general. It doesn't have to be outside the house, but like a hobby in general. And I'm sorry, I'm going to piss people off with this, but a hobby that's not just video games.
Correct. Video games are not a hobby.
I do see it as a hobby. There's some people that like make money off of that, streaming on Twitch. Like, you do you, boo. But like, get out of the house, go touch grass, be in the sun. Vitamin D is a real thing. For me, I get, and Erika's experienced this a little bit too, but like, then I get like butt hurt because they're not making time for me. And I'm like, okay. But also I wanted somebody with hobbies. But also, like, okay, Sarah, chill out. Like, that's, you know, like that's that anxious attachment style where I'm like, I know I'm making time for you, but you're not putting in as much effort as me. But that doesn't look the same to everyone, you know?
Yes.
So I have to like slow my roll. And that's that attachment style too, where it's like, you have to have all the time in the world for me, but also I'm busy. So
yes, I also same. I was talking to I'm pretty sure Sarah and I have had this conversation too, but I was talking to one of my coworkers and I was like, it's just like, I don't, you know, like, I just wish that he had more time for me. And she's like,
excuse me?
Aren't you fucking busy? Like, first of all,
excuse me,
rude.
The podcast takes up what? I mean, depending on editing in a week and social media posting and marketing, for both of us, it takes like minimum 5 to 10 hours a week. So that's a part-time job right there. Not to mention the side hustles that I have, plus the friends and or workout regimen that I have. Erika has a workout regimen and dance, probably starting competitive dance soon. And then her friend circle. And we both have book club, which we're supposed to meet about tomorrow, by the way. Please don't forget. I may or may not have to read the book in 24 hours. It's fine.
No, don't worry about it. We got this. It's cool.
But it just, you know, there's all these things. And then it's like, I expect someone to put in as much effort as me as making time in my schedule, but that doesn't look the same for everyone.
No.
So it's like, again, that anxious attachment style where I'm like, I am self-aware, thankfully, but I have to take a step back and kind of like look at big picture and see that I'm busy. I have hobbies and I have side hustles that I'm really passionate about. And you need to calm down because maybe that other person also has side hustles and things that they're passionate about that they can't always make time for you.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's okay.
And I hurt my own feelings.
Yes. It's like
in doing so.
And also, it was weird. I had a very good conversation with my mom, which was weird.
I'm shocked about that.
Me too. I mean, there are a lot of feelings, and unlike Sarah, Sarah too, but I'm just like, ugh. Feelings, emotions, disgusting. We were talking about, because my mom was married for a really long time and I was married for a really long time, similar times in our lives, and we had similar relationships. So my mom was married to my dad and I was married to my ex-husband. And we talked about it, and part of it is that like I am a very different person than my sisters are, and I have spent a lot less time with my mom than my sisters have. So, I try to give my mom grace about that, which is difficult for me sometimes. I talked to her a little bit about it, and I just was honest and was like, I don't want to tell you these things and have you feel bad for me. I don't want you to like try to fix them. I don't want you to try and make it better. I don't need that from you. I don't want that from you. It doesn't make me feel better. What I want is for you to tell me the things that you went through and commiserate with me, because that makes me feel like you understand. And she was like, thank you for telling me that. I had no idea. And in my brain, I was like, how could you not? But then I was like, wait a minute, Erika. Not everyone has the context that's inside your head. Calm down. My mom and I are also incredibly triggering for each other. And that's not to say that, like, you know, she doesn't fucking deserve it sometimes. But
can I add in that there's a piece of me that hopes that your therapist tunes into the show every now and then because she knows that you do this. And I really hope that she sees your growth moment right now, because this is, Erika, this is huge. And you're talking about it openly. Like, this is wonderful. Now, I'm not your mother's biggest fan by any means. But like, this is huge, dude. You should have some pride in yourself right now. This is huge.
I know. I'm trying to, and it was weird and it was hard and I didn't like it at all, but I think it was a good I don't know. I just think that it was good and it was better because I am so much different. Like, I don't want the same things as my sisters do. I'm a very different person than them. Like, I don't want the same relationship. And I honestly don't think that ever crossed my mom's mind. So she's like doing things that my sisters want from her. And I'm like,
ew, why?
Yeah, like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't need that.
Yeah, like,
right.
and not only that, but it makes me upset. Like, it just makes me really angry when people, like, if somebody apologizes to me, like if somebody says I'm sorry, but they don't have like take accountability or have a plan to fix it or whatever, I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit if you're sorry. Genuinely, I'm not. And I think most people are like that to a certain extent. I definitely have a stronger reaction than is necessary to shit like that. And that's a me problem. But my mom
it's also you having this open communication with her is really lovely in a sense of like the fact that she's even, I shouldn't say open to understanding, but at least the doors are open in that general direction. Because for her to say, thank you for telling me that, here's my side of the story, or here's an experience that I had. I can't imagine what that conversation would be like with my mom. I can't. And now I don't even have the opportunity to try. So it's interesting to hear this coming from someone who has a similar reaction to her mother that I had with mine. So thanks for that.
I think, I don't know. I'm trying not, like, and that's not to say I'm not going to have another conversation with my mom and I'm going to be incredibly triggered. Or there are certain things that I just can't fucking talk to her about. And
which would make sense.
But I do think that she genuinely doesn't know how to react to me. And I had to tell her. And for a long time, I was like, well, she should just know. And I'm like, I don't do that with anybody else in my life because it's not really fair. And it's not really reasonable for everyone walking around to know exactly how to, like, talk to me. That's ridiculous.
How dare you? That's the most reasonable thing I've heard you say all day.
I know. Look at me. God. Ugh. And I think it's because I went through a lot of stuff. Like, Sarah knows, but I went through a bit of there's some emotional upheaval in my life, and I really had to, like, check my feelings because I needed to handle a situation. And it was super difficult because the person that was doing the things was something that I had experienced with somebody else that was easier for me to just be like, fuck you, I'm never talking to you again. Whereas the person who is doing them this time is not a person that I want to do that with.
Right.
And it was very difficult separating the behaviors from the person and realizing, like, oh.
Self-awareness.
I hate it. I don't want it at all.
Brutal. Yes.
Truly.
It is difficult to have, first of all, to have that conversation with yourself. But you've been opening up to a therapist, which is wonderful. That's work that anyone can put in any phase of their life. But now you're opening yourself up on a public platform. And that's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Because when we started doing this a year ago, well, oh my God, almost 2 years ago. So
almost 2 years ago.
When we started doing this 2 years ago, it was like, oh, we're just going to be funny because we are. Like, we're just going to, we're just going to, talk about funny stuff and hate on men and talk shit, and it's fine.
We still do that, though.
We do still do that, but now there's a little more substance to things. And kind of in a bragging moment, we have some guests coming up on the show that we would not have even dreamed about 2 years ago. Like, we wouldn't have even, no. So I'm really excited to kind of start digging into some of the guest appearances that we have coming up in the rest of the year because, guys, what's also really cool is we are booked out on guest appearances till the end of August, and it is the end of June right now.
And they're indie authors, so get it? Booked? Ha ha ha.
There are, yeah. Wow. I'm going to utilize that like business, but are you proud of yourself right now?
I so am. Love a dad joke.
But, and to brag also, it's not just indie authors. We have some I'm not going to announce it yet, but we have some pretty interesting people coming up as guests. So
people that, like, we don't even...
We are not on their level.
No. We're like, what?
I'm sorry. You said yes to appearing on our show for free? What?
Yeah.
And then there's the cocky side of me that takes a step back and I'm like, of course you did. Because like, duh, obviously.
I mean, it's because we're like really good at this.
Some days. But I digress. But I do, in talking about this attachment style conversation with all of you, I do want to at least list the 4 that are specific in this topic. So, like, secure attachment is the first one. So that's comfortable with intimacy and autonomy, trust and depend on others, lets others depend on them, good at regulating. Some of the childhood roots could be consistent, responsive caregiving And some adult behavior could be that they openly communicate, they seek support when needed, maintain strong and healthy boundaries, handles rejections or breakups with resilience. And I can tell you that for both of us, we have some of those traits. Not all, but we do have some. So that kind of goes back to it circles back to the conversation of how like things can adjust based on like life experience and whatever. So the next one is anxious or preoccupied attachment. So some of those core traits could be that you crave closeness but fear abandonment, sensitive to changes in tones, behavior, or availability. And caveat is I was having this conversation with somebody at work the other day, and they were like, I really hate it when people are like, oh, you must be an empath. Like you really tune in to people's emotions and everything. And I appreciated the fact that she said that she hates when people are like, oh my God, you're an empath. Because I've been described as that before, and I have described myself as that before. And now that we're talking about this, and it's like, for an anxious attachment, sensitive to changes in tone or behavior, may come off as clingy or overly independent. And I'm like, ow.
Yeah, same.
Ow. So then some of those childhood roots for the anxious attachment could be that caregivers were inconsistent, sometimes nurturing, sometimes neglectful, so the child couldn't predict how their needs would be met. And in adult behavior, it could be as in seeking constant reassurance, worries about being unwanted or unimportant, struggles with jealousy, or overanalyzing texts and tones. Conflict feels threatening to the relationship.
First of all, I didn't need to be attacked like that.
Thank you. I'm attacking myself. The third one is avoidant or dismissive attachment. So those core traits could be values independence and self-reliance over closeness, can seem emotionally distant or shut down during conflict, often minimizes or avoids emotional expression. So those childhood roots could be caregivers were emotionally unavailable or discouraged displays of emotions.
I know. I was like, first of all, you listed off those things and I was like...
Some of those adult behaviors could manifest as avoids vulnerability, may feel overwhelmed by demands for intimacy, disengages from conflict rather than addressing it, keeps partners at arm's length. Moving on. There is also the disorganized or fearful avoidant attachment. So core traits could be torn between wanting closeness and fearing it, struggles with trust and emotional regulation, often experiences intense emotional highs and lows, which again, those are things that I can identify with. Childhood roots could be caregivers were sources of both comfort and fear, for example, abuse, trauma, or neglect. Adult behavior could be may self-sabotage relationships, fears abandonment and intimacy, can be unpredictable in responses for hot and cold behavior, and may have experienced trauma or loss. So out of the 4, I experienced 3.
Same. Yes. If I had to pick one that I see you the most in, it's that last one.
Go fuck yourself.
And second would be anxious. Now, for me, for
it would
sure
be
it's avoidance. For sure. I was like, wow. Ooh.
Rude. So I'm grateful that you you sent me this Spotify episode, because it was very good to listen to, and I hadn't put a whole lot of stock into it's sort of like when you first learn about love languages and you're like, yeah, I absolutely love receiving gifts, but then when you look at it and you're like, oh, quality time is that's my go-to. I mean, receiving gifts is great. Like, love that for me. But quality time is more of a thing. But when you look at attachment styles, and I start reading through like the disorganized or fearful avoidant attachment, because let me tell you this right now. Of all of the words that a person could describe me, disorganized is never one of them. Ever. So at first I was really like, I wouldn't even read that section of this blog that I found, because I was like, that's not me. But then in parentheses, it says fearful avoidant. And I'm like, all right, maybe I need to read this. Obviously, we're doing a podcast episode on it. And I was like, the one time in my life that someone can call me disorganized once.
Yeah, there are certain things where I'm like, oh, I don't even need to read that. That doesn't apply to me. And then I read it and I'm like,
ouch.
Oh. That's how I felt about avoidant. I was like, no, I'm super, super anxious attached. And then I read it and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Excuse me while I take a rusty spoon to my eye socket. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
Because I was
rude.
just called out super hard.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I appreciate that you guys came out to listen to this. It's been real triggering for me. Well, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad we talked
you
about
guys
it.
like to listen to our emotional turmoil.
But for me, honestly, the reading and the research doing on this, even though it was not, my normal amount of research, Erika's normal amount of research is like, a few hours minimum.
Mhm.
This was maybe 45 minutes of me like
Yeah.
looking and reading and whatever. So I know that there are people out there that are smarter than us that can break down these attachment styles a little bit better.
Yeah.
But similar to that, 12-minute episode of mental science, I hope that this is at least beneficial for someone to kind of help maybe see either the situation that they're in or the type of attachment style that they're currently experiencing and what the differences could be versus your childhood, middle school, high school, college, and who you are now, whether that's, someone's son in his 20s or us in our 30s or some of our audience that are up in their 50s, which I just found out about.
Ooh.
So I appreciate you
Yeah.
guys. I'm glad we did this topic because it was pretty eye-opening for me.
Yeah, I think it's if it's used as a tool for like self-improvement and like self-awareness, I think that the amount of research I've done, I feel like that is what I found helpful. Like, okay, like I am recognizing traits of this attachment style, so this is a me thing, not a them thing.
But to be fair, it is also a them thing. And
Oh,
so if you're
sure.
able to see like what attachment style you have, we could go into this further, but I even had
Mhm.
questions of like, do you think that someone in an anxious attachment style is more magnetically tuned in to somebody who is an avoidant because they're chasing and they're running? And
For sure.
I bring that up because my first therapist back in Germany, when she and Erika also thought that this was profound, a hot minute ago. But
Mhm.
my therapist said that I'm a balloon. In every relationship, there's a balloon and an anchor. And I was the balloon and my ex-husband was the anchor. And I look at that and it's such a simple concept, but it really spoke to me because I'm constantly like, "Ooh, let's try this," and "Ooh, let's try this." And then a lot of people are like, "Oh, you just have ADHD. Like, calm down." But also,
Yeah.
he was very much grounded in a sense of like, okay, we can try it, but also maybe we wait until this happens, or maybe we wait a couple paychecks to afford it, or, whatever, instead of just jumping head first. So I think that being a balloon could technically be a toxic trait of mine. But I also think
Mhm.
that I really love that about myself because I am willing to try new things and I am willing to jump head first without fear. Not all the time, but like I am willing to jump and like, God, this whole conversation I'm making about me, but like it also circles back to like my current work situation and how like there's big changes happening in my life. And like, I am afraid to jump, but I'm also not because I know, adventure and fear and all of those things. Like I usually come out stronger on the other side of this. So being the balloon or having either a disorganized or an anxious attachment style has also kind of helped me over the years overcome some of those like fear situations and those big like life transitions. So again, really love that we did this topic today.
Me too. I listened to it and I was like, this is really interesting. And just the type of relationship that you and I have, I think we would get a lot out of it because one thing that I really appreciate about our friendship, Sarah, I'm about to be mean to you and make you cry,
Right.
is that speaking of attachment styles, like I feel like we are very secure in our attachment to each other because we've been friends for a really long time and like we support each other and we are there when we need each other, like, and we have seen each other's flaws and are like, don't get hung up on them and are just like, this is who this person is and I love you. And because of that, we can have conversations like this because like,
Oh yeah.
we can hurt each other's feelings and know that it's done out of love and not just to be mean. So like we can have those genuine conversations. And I just really appreciate that about you. And I love you so much. Are you crying now?
I hate you. I genuinely hate you. Can we close this so I can go break down, not on camera?
Okay. For real. That's it for us, guys. We love you. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, we have a book club. We have our Discord. We have our amazing affiliates, Forever Storage, the OG, Primal Queen, also fantastic. And then Everyday Dose, which I actually just finished drinking.
And this next week, we will officially announce our new sponsor.
Yes.
And we're super excited about this as a potential, especially for our listeners. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be really cool to experience and kind of see what some of our listeners and even our friends go through with this sponsorship. So
yes,
be looking out for that.
We had like a real business meeting, like grown.
It was listen, the way that I was like, Erika texted me and was like, "Do you think I need makeup for this?" And I was like, "Bitch, it's a business meeting.
I was
Put some fucking mascara on." Like,
and I did.
Who
and
are
I
you?
Fabulous, but still.
Yes.
Lit and Libations with Casey Bookbeat in November. And then in December, we are also, Sarah and I are going to a writer's retreat, which I'm really, really excited about.
Oh my God. It's going to be crazy.
I'm excited about being in a group of like talented, creative women. I'm also really excited about the food.
Oh, you have no idea. Listen, our friend Annie, who is an incredible young adult author. She is amazing. She has a theater background. She is just one of the most kind human beings I've ever met in my life. She is also hilarious. And the food, like the first year that we did this retreat, this woman made a giant pan of homemade lasagna that I've never seen so beautiful in my life. But she also like caters to people who have dairy issues or gluten issues or whatever. She is amazing. She's also a mother, a wife. She's incredible. I very much am grateful for her. So Erika, like, I love that you're excited for the food, but you have no idea how excited.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. No, that's it. I got everything.
Other than leaving comments and reviews, that's pretty much.
Oh, yes, please. It's literally for our mental health. If you could just leave a review and we will read
we'll talk about it.
We will read it and talk about it, and it will live in our little brains forever.
I would like to do a quick shout out on something. We've definitely our YouTube numbers have been going crazy. Somebody made a comment the other day that AI art on an episode cover, because this last week I had a dinosaur, a T-Rex, a cartoon T-Rex holding a bottle of water, because we were talking about paleontologists and we were talking about hydration at some point. And I was like, oh, that'd be funny. So I, used AI and did this little image, and somebody commented saying AI artwork on podcast cover images is stupid. And I'm like, all right. Like,
we don't have time.
Not even the time, but it took them probably more time to log in, look at our stuff, and comment than it did for me to create the image. Also, who cares? I didn't steal the art from anyone. Like, calm your tits, actually.
It's because they aren't doing anything as creative as we are. It's fine. If you're not funny, just say that.
So, yeah. And the last thing that I'll ask you guys is like, your attachment style. Like, have you, give us feedback. Have you noticed your own attachment style, your partner, your spouse, your situationship? Have you noticed it amongst your friends? Like, have you noticed any changes throughout your lifetime? Like the feedback I would really appreciate, because that's something like I will definitely talk about. So last thing that I will, and I probably won't put this in the episode, but last thing, well, I might make a reel out of it, maybe. One thing that I want to shout out about my last week is that Gordo has left Fort Leonard Wood. Gordo McJean Jacket has left Fort Leonard Wood. And for some of you, you might be shocked to find out, but he has exited Fort Leonard Wood, and he has gone to audition to be a cabana boy on a cruise line. And I want to shout that out. Look, you should see Erika's face. It's great. I want to shout that out because the balls on that man. What a lifestyle to want to lead and go and do it and live your best life.
But also literally the balls on that man.
Oh my God. So I'm so proud. I'm so proud to be your friend. And I'm just very excited about your future. And I'm very excited to come visit you because I will get cruise tickets on the cruise that you work on so I can go watch you be a cabana boy because that's adorable.
Sarah and I
love that for you.
Both be doing it.
Hands down. So shout out to Gordo McJean Jacket because your life is so, your life's about to get real interesting, buddy. I'm excited for you.